Well, hello, everyone. I have a couple of special guests on here that I thought we could talk to because there's a new announcement that just came out in the news. It's already up on theimagingchannel.com. But Modern Office Methods has a new subsidiary called Obviam. And I am here today with Ken Staubitz, who is the COO of Mom, along with Keith Johnson, who is the Executive VP of Obviam. So we're going to probe them a little and see what's going on here. So first up, Ken, I'd love to hear kind of how this came together and what this is all about.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia, and thanks for having us today. Much appreciated. So, there's two knowns out there, if you will. Like healthcare is not going away. The cyber landscape and cyber threats, at our all-time high, that is not going away. We're all faced with that, even in our own businesses, right?
Yeah.
So more and more, our customers, whether it's in the SMB space or even the enterprise space, has been coming to us saying, can you help us? Can you help us with penetration testing or what have you from a compliance standpoint? So we got that feedback, and we're very blessed to have the dream team, so to speak, that we intentionally went out and looked for, and we started a whole new business to really focus in this space because it's very hard for people to be a jack of all trades and not do things well. So we decided to take a totally different approach. Let's hire the all stars, so to speak, let them run with it, and offer these services to our customers that are so important to keep them protected.
That's a big move for Mom. How have you been dealing with the requests you're getting from your clients before you stood up this new subsidiary? What were you doing? Were you sending out referrals to other companies, or how are you
And
handling that?
great question. So Mom has another business, their MSP, Optimized IT. They do a great job with managing firewalls and such. But there's a whole nother level of compliance that's needed out there. So at times we'd lean on our manufacturers. Canon, Ricoh, HP do a great job, but they could also only get us kind of so far.
Right.
So we really looked internally. Sometimes we'd put clients off and say, you know what, we don't have anything right now. Hey, maybe I can lean on somebody else to help us out. So finally we said, you know what, enough's enough. We need to do this, do it the right way, more importantly, and offer the great service that we do today and we've built our brands on. So we decided to go ahead and start this new venture.
I like it. It also really does help kind of strengthen and deepen and widen the relationship, obviously, with your clients and that whole trusted advisor um,
Sure.
moniker that our entire channel is actually really good at. So the more comprehensive you're offering, the deeper you get to go within those clients' businesses. So that's great. I love it. Maybe Keith, let's talk to you a little bit about this. Why did you choose to go down this path?
No, that's a great question. I actually will follow up to a word that you mentioned that really resonated me when you said it, and there was the word trusted. Trust was a word that I found very quickly when I started to engage Ken and Kevin McCarthy of Mom. And it was important because I needed to understand how they delivered service to their own customers. Because being someone that wanted to come and build a team around customer service was really key for me.
Hmm.
And I know in the cyber world, when you start getting into things around cybersecurity, what starts to resonate with people is that you're dealing with their trusted valuables.
Yeah.
It's their data that they have. And in that means that you have great responsibility and ownership to take care of those trusted valuables. And so if we're going to come in and give guidance to them, I want to make sure it's done through a lens of good customer service. So I look at it as a 50 for 50 proposition. So Mom's been around for 50 plus years. But I also know that our team coming to Mom brings 50 plus years of cybersecurity experience. So because of this, then to me, it's a twofer for our customers. They get a very strengthened up level of security guidance and consultation. But on the back of that, they get 50 plus years of just doing customer service and earning their trust along the way. And we take good care in making sure that we're not going to do anything that's going to disrupt the customers that exist within Mom. but then also elevate them around their governance, risk, and compliance concerns that they all have.
What is your background, Keith? From what area do you come, and what positions you well to lead this new subsidiary in this venture?
Oh, yeah, great question. I came from a programming background early on out of college. I think that taught me how to be a good troubleshooter.
I bet.
You know, when there's problems, you kind of get in and try to fix it. From there, I went to work for a managed service provider from an IT perspective. So much like Mom has under roof optimized IT, that services what I would consider the hygiene of a company. So those are things like their server storage, firewalls, Ken had mentioned that earlier, endpoint software, things like that. I found very quickly that our customers that I had when I was at that company for 13 years running director of IT items, found very quickly that they wanted to be more healthy. So they needed this extra layer of security from an overall risk perspective. Like, hey, from an outside view, how exposed am I if a threat actor was to look at me? And so from there, I went to work for a security vendor, SonicWall.
Nice.
They
Yeah.
were one that was very attractive to me because they cared about delivering good security services, very pinpointed services to customers.
Yep.
And there I learned to deal with partners in the ecosystem there and in the world around security. From there, I landed at a managed security service provider. So I even went a step further in my career and really focused in on just delivering good quality service around security services and solutions that really solve what I would consider customer pains, and then also really kind of dive into, hey, what are your business outcomes? How can I match that to the risk that you have, and then better make sure that you yourself can do business well in your ecosystems and not have to worry so much about the cyber events that are occurring around you, because they're ever evolving. I mean, I'm sure in your talks, Patricia, when you're dealing with certain customers and vendors and partners, it's the scare that you see in the industry around, hey, am I next? And in reality, a lot of folks,
Yeah.
they just don't know on what spectrum, like what's their exposure. And so for me, coming to Mom allows me, and now Obviam, allows us to really focus in on helping customers understand their risk and then moving them along in their security journey to kind of help close the gaps.
Well, quite a catch, Ken, I think. He seems to know a few things. And I love the very broad perspective that you're bringing into this new company, because you have been on different sides of the desk and viewed it from all kinds of different angles, which really allows for a comprehensive look. And it sounds like a great start to something very new and interesting. This is a jump ball, Ken, Keith, are you targeting specific verticals? Obviously, we do a lot of writing on cybersecurity threats and dangers out there, and there are definitely specific verticals that are heavily targeted. Everyone's a target, obviously, but unfortunately, actually, but there are a few verticals that are specifically targeted. Are those some of the areas that you guys are looking at for
Yeah, I
customers?
can take that, Ken, if you'd like.
Right.
I would tell you that GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, that's a terminology. It's used a lot in industry, especially when you start dealing with security. What I will tell you is I like to mix those words up a little bit. I usually start with risk and then go to governance and then go to compliance. And the reason risk is important because it's meaningful to any size customer, any size vertical. If they can understand how risky they are, then business decisions can be made. If you step further into governance, you're starting to talk about those that live in industries that may not have a compliance need, but want to align to some security framework. So something like NIST, or maybe sys controls, or something along that vein, HIPAA, for example. They may not have someone knocking on the door from an auditor perspective. So customers that kind of fit that vertical for us would be like K-12, large K-12 institutions, small colleges, education, maybe some small manufacturing firms. When you get to the compliance component, that's where you have to like self-report out, or someone is coming to your door and wanting to perform an audit.
Yeah.
There you're looking at like PCI,
Right.
maybe retail in general. You may look at manufacturing, large firms where they want to adhere to ISO 27001.
Right.
It could also mean you may get into some small gov ed where they care about CMMC readiness. So broadly, we'll take all customers, but we also realize and understand that when you start getting into someone's governance and compliance, it takes a little bit more time. So we need a customer, specifically like manufacturing,
Yeah.
healthcare really resonate with us.
Yeah.
Mom's customer base, they have a large footprint there that really is something that needs bolstering from that perspective. And we can come along and help them with what we call vCISO services.
Right.
This idea that they may not have someone there that wears a security hat every day, 24/7, and we can come along and augment and help them align to the frameworks that they really care about, and then those that they have to be audited for.
How do you scale that? I mean, if there are multiple medium-sized organizations looking for a vCISO, for instance, how do you scale that within Mom and Obviam?
Great question. So very first thing I did was find a person on our team that can lead out this service that comes from, and I found a unicorn. I found someone that has seen both sides. They've been in a business like manufacturing and healthcare, and so they themselves have been audited.
Okay.
But they've also been at an MSP where they themselves perform the audit. So they've seen it from both lens, and then now you have empathy, you have understanding of ownership and responsibility. So the very first thing is I found somebody that was smart and can go do this stuff and lead out a team of people that can then deliver the service. Our scalability comes in with our platform that we've chosen in-house to actually perform a lot of the framework analysis. So I can come alongside, meet with a manufacturing firm, for example, understand their policies and procedures, or offer our own as templates, help them kind of move along, pull them into the platform, and then allow us to then see across all kinds of frameworks. It could be that ISO is important to them, but it also may mean that NIST is also important. So I can take a policy like an acceptable use policy that they would have in their organization and now apply it to different controls. So I'm scaling with the platform, and then I'm also enhancing it with the knowledge workers that I have. They're going to be able to perform this and meet with a customer, usually probably on a monthly basis, if not quarterly, to help them.
Okay.
So it is, in essence, kind of a co-managed service. I need some advocate at the company that's going to help drive some of this, because we can only do so much if there's not someone there that's top down saying, hey guys, we gotta, or ladies, hey, we must do this. But I think certainly we could bring to the table the requirements, the agenda, the organization. Sometimes people just don't know where to start.
Absolutely. There's some leadership in there.
And
that
we
you're
are,
right.
yeah, we can come in and at least get them kickstarted, if not become ready. So
Yeah.
when an auditor calls, they're prepared.
Yeah, that's great. I really like that. And I also like, when as I'm listening to you, Keith, I had the pleasure of knowing Modern Office Methods really well. It's a great dealership. And it just sounds like, just even from the verbiage that you're using, that your interests and direction are very aligned. Which is really, really critical, especially when you're starting up something like that's going to take a lot of even just time investment, right? Time, effort, energy, spirit. There's a lot that goes into this. So the alignment is beautiful. I really like it. And I think you guys are going to do great. Is there anything else that maybe you'd like to mention that I haven't asked about? Something, a tidbit or
Well, a big piece, and you mentioned it, Patricia, we take a lot of pride in our culture,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Keith has a ton of knowledge, and that's great, super important, but he had to fit, and the team, more importantly, had to fit within the mom culture and what we have going on here, right? So, I mean, this wasn't an easy process. It took
Yeah.
time, but we wanted to ensure that we had the right folks that fit culturally with us, with our client base. So that was number one before we even got into skill sets and all that. That was a big part of this.
Well, and I can see that. That's what I'm kind of drilling down on right
Yep.
now. And it's not that easy. And things get a little wild on the IT side sometimes with culture fit vis-a-vis the
Yes.
copier channel. So it's really not that easy. But this seems like a really good fit, and I'm very excited for you guys. I think this is great, and we're going to need these examples to help kind of guide the channel in general. So I hope that you stay vested with me and engaged, because I think there's some opportunities to share maybe some subject matter expertise as you're learning
Absolutely.
Yeah.
some of how the clients are reacting and what's working out there, and share it with the broader community, because that rising tide will lift all boats, and
Mhm.
we need to help educate. So I look to you both to stay engaged with us, and I wish you congratulations and good luck on this very exciting new tranche of the modern office methods history.
Thank you. Yeah, we're here to help any way we can. You've been a great advocate of us over the years, Patricia. I've enjoyed our friendship, and we're here to help. You know, the more that we can educate folks on how to,
Yeah,
be safe out there, so to speak, that's what we're here for.
I love it. Keith, thank you for sharing your time. Ken,
You're
as
welcome.
always, I'll say goodbye now, but I think people are going to enjoy this conversation. So thanks to both of you for sharing and getting a little buzz out there along with your press release. It's big news. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.